as promised, I will answer the questions at the beginning of each session. It was mentioned on how to delete grade center items. Could you please explain that again? Well, we had talked about how do you delete grade center columns if you don't want them. And let me kind of explain a little. What you're going to do from the full grade center, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this for 5 minutes. Okay, from the grade center, I have opened up grade center from control panel and I went to the full grade center. If I look at each of the columns, say that I want to delete a column. For whatever reason, I may have two columns of total or a TMAY database column. I want to delete that column. I go to the chevron to the right of the column name and click to open up the action menu. It displays what I can do in that column. The delete column should be the last one. If you do not see the delete column, what that tells you is that somewhere in this course there is an assignment, a discussion board forum, a quiz that's associated with that column. Blackboard will not let you delete the column unless you first go to where the column refers to. So for this one, it is a discussion board. So I first have to go to the discussion board and delete the forum from there, then come back into the grade center, and I will be able to delete the column from the grade center. The other question, again concerning the grade center, could you please re-explain the difference between hide column and hide from users? When you're in the grade center and you're looking at the full grade center, as the semester goes along, you're going to be getting a lot of columns. And at some point, you may want to hide a column from your view, from the grade center view. To do that, again, clicking the chevron to the right of the column name, you have the option to hide column. If you select hide column, you are only hiding it in the grade center view. The students and users still see that column in their My Grades area. If you want to hide it from the users so that your students don't see it, you have to select the Show Hide to Users option. So if I select Show Hide to Users, what will happen immediately is to the left of the column name, you will see a circle and an orange flash through it. And now you know that that column is not visible to the users. Okay, understanding safe assignments. Okay, these are just the questions that I went through earlier on the Grade Center from last week. So just so you know that they are here and will be recorded. And this week, what is safe assign or safe assignment? Well, safe assignment is, technically, it's just an assignment within Blackboard. It allows you to set up an assignment. The difference being that Safe Assign is a third-party application integrated within Blackboard that runs papers through databases to help instructors identify unoriginal content in your students' papers. In other words, it's a plagiarism prevention service, although that plagiarism word just kind of makes my hair stand on end sometimes, but what it really does is it helps you to identify. It doesn't do the whole job for you. There still has to be that instructor hands-on to review the report and to make decisions on the students' papers, but it does provide a means of giving you some hints and some assistance. The submitted papers, when students submit them through Safe Assignment, they are checked against the internet. They are also checked against ProQuest ABI Inform database, which holds over 1,000 publication titles and about 2.6 million articles. They are also checked against the Institutional Document Archives, that's our institutional archives, of papers that are submitted by students, and as well as a global reference database submitted by users worldwide. And these papers are volunteered by students that will allow us to run our assignments through. Well, how do I get a safe assignment in my Blackboard course? So how do I create a safe assignment? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select the area where you want it to be held, and preferably it's under Assignment menu option. The setup is very similar to creating an assignment. You would select Create Assessment, and then scroll all the way down. Near the bottom, you'll see where it says Safe Assignment. You're going to type in the assignment information, just as you would for a normal assignment, the name of the assignment, the points possible, any instructions to the student, and then under the options, you can opt to make it available immediately, track the number of views, and or select availability date. So if you only wanted it available for a week. You can also select whether or not to make it a draft assignment. Now, I'm going to cover draft assignments a little bit later, so you'll understand the difference between a final safe assignment and the draft. And then right under there, there's an option for student viewable. Now, some instructors have told me that they thought that that was to make the assignment viewable by the student. What that allows for, if it is checked, it allows the students to actually view the report that's generated. If you select no, then only you as the instructor can view the report. So you really do want to check that option so that the student can see the report that's generated. Because really, safe assignment is no more than a learning experience. You're helping your students to understand how citations work and what basically plagiarism could be. And then under the optional announcement, you can create an announcement regarding the safe assignment that is available or will be available, and then click Submit. So it's easy to talk about it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start the app share again, and you should now be seeing my Blackboard course. So remember I said that you would start or create a safe assignment just as you would a normal assignment. So I'm going to go over to the assignments area, and even though I have some already set up, I select Create Assessment from the menu tabs at the top, and then scroll all the way down and create Safe Assignment. Again, the setup is very similar to doing a normal assignment. So I give it a name. And the points that are possible for this assignment, and any instructions to the student. So this is a final. If I could type, assignment worth 50 points. And of course, your instructions may be longer than my 6 or 7 words, but just to give you an idea of what goes in there. Now remember, as soon as you put in the points possible and go through all the options, click Submit, a column in the Grade Center is going to be created for you. So under this area, I do want to make the assessment available, so it's already selected as yes. I don't need to track the number of views because I'll know how many students actually submit the assignment through the Grade Center. And again, under availability, I can make it available from a certain date until a certain date. Moving straight down, Here is the option for draft. Now, best practices when using Safe Assignment is to create 2 Safe Assignment projects. One, selecting it as a draft assignment, and the other, by not checking that box, makes it a final. What that does for the students is that it allows the students, when you give them instructions, to submit their paper into the Safe Assignment area, have it checked, but not as a final copy. They still receive a report, but now they have an opportunity to go through that assignment, make any changes, edit the citations to make them acceptable, and then you'll have a final Safe Assignment set up where now they can actually submit it and receive a grade for it. So this one I am going to uncheck it because this is the final one. Each Safe Assignment area can accept only one occurrence. So we've got this first one is the final one. Urgent checking. Now, urgent checking to you is not urgent checking to Safe Assign. It normally does not take that long for Safe Assignment to run the paper through their database. There are times when it could be a little longer, say near the end of a semester, and it's not immediate, so I'm going to tell you that now. It takes a few minutes for the Safe Assignment to run the report. It is not too long. Urgent checking just says this is an emergency. Put this assignment above anybody else and run it first or second. Normally suggest that you don't even bother checking that. And here is the student viewable option. Remember to select yes so that the student can view the report when it is generated. Optional announcement. You can select yes if you want to alert the students on the announcements page that the Safe Assignment has been posted in the assignment area. Okay. All done. Scroll down and click Submit. Now, Blackboard will put the last option down near the bottom. So notice that the last option is the Safe Assignment number 5. Remember, you can move your assignments or anything that you've created around. To do that, you can drag and drop, or you can select the up and down arrows near the top right-hand corner, find that assignment, and then use the up arrows to move it up to a different location. So I want this one right at the top. Click Submit. Blackboard comes back and tells you that the items have been reordered. And now you see that my Safe Assignment is the very first one the student sees. So that's the final Safe Assignment. So now remember I said we should do one as a draft. So the students would submit their draft copy first. So I'm going to go back into Create Assessment, back down to Safe Assignment, give it a name, number 5, and I'm going to make sure that this is noted as a draft. Now for drafts, you can assign points if you want. And if you want to make it worth some points, remember students love points, even if it's 1 or 2. And again, this is a draft. And again, make the assessment available. I don't need to track the number of views, but what I do need to do to tell the Safe Assignment app not to include it in the database, I must make sure that I put a check mark in the box that says draft. Go down to Student Viewable and click Submit. And again, remember it puts it down near the bottom. So I want to move this back up, and this time I'm going to drag it up before the Safe Assignment Final. So now you've got Safe Assignment, not really up at the top, okay. There we go. So now I've got the draft Safe Assignment project available for the students and the final. So they would do the draft first, view and complete, submit their paper, wait for the report, review it, edit it. When it's fine and they think it's great, then they go back into the Safe Assignment Final and then view, complete, upload their final paper to actually submit it to you for review. Can we create a Safe Assignment and to go directly to the Week 1 folder? Yes, you can create a Safe Assignment in any folder. So if you have your menu items set up by modules or weeks or different folders, you just open that location and still would select the Create Assessment button. Just to recap, the draft, why did I create the draft Safe Assignment? Because it allows the students a dry run where they can submit, review the Safe Assignment report, and then have a chance for them to revise and edit their assignment before submitting it as final and having it added to their grade. The draft will still be compared against the database of prior submissions and internet sources, but it will not be archived in the database for future checks. Now, what happens if you create an assignment and label it as a draft, but don't put that check mark in the draft option as you set it up? Well, the student goes in, submits it thinking that it's being looked at as a draft, and then submits it to the final assignment, and all of a sudden the report that's generated shows 100% of identified or copied sources. That's because by your not putting the check mark in draft, you're basically saying, yep, this is final, included in the database. So just to make sure that you always include a check mark in the draft option if you are setting up a draft Safe Assignment for your students. And again, creating that draft is the same way that you would create the final assignment, except, number one, just name the assignment so that the students knows that it is a draft. Include in the instructions that the draft will allow them to review and edit before submitting it final. Possible points, that's up to you as the instructor. Do you want to give them a couple of points for doing that? Or you can just make it 0 points. Make sure that you check the box to the right of draft, or to select Student Viewable so that your student sees the generated report. Okay, so now what happens? All of these students have gone in, they've uploaded their assignments, and they've gone through the draft, they've seen their reports, and hopefully they can also go to ltu.edu/ehelp to find out how to review and translate what they're seeing in the report. And now you're ready to go in and start to review the reports in the documents yourself as the instructor. So how do you do that? Well, there's two ways that you can view all of the Safe Assignments. You can go in by the Grade Center and open up each of the options or the student submissions from there. Or you can go in to view all of the Safe Assignments that you've created to have an idea of what you've done. And here is, make sure that here is the column that's set up for the Safe Assignment, the final, and the draft. So I've got two columns. One is the draft, and I see students have submitted here. And I see my final Safe Assignment, and I see that the students have submitted assignments there. So I can go in from the Grade Center and view the attempt by clicking the chevron to the right of the student's option. Go to View Grade Details. Gives me a little more information like who submitted it, and it tells me that it needs grading. I want to view the user activity into the safe assignment area to see all of the safe assignments that I've created. So I'm going to go to Course Tools and Safe Assign. And from the Safe Assign area, I can view all of the safe assignments that I've set up. So from here, I've got Safe Assignment number 5, Safe Assignment number 1. It tells me that they're final and with draft. And I can view submissions. Okay, here's one. Oh, all right. From the Safe Assignment area under Course Tools, I can see all of the submissions that are available. It tells me that there is text associated with it. I can download the original file. I see the percent that's matching, and in this case, 10% of that document is matching to someplace else. And I can also see there's a green check mark under the essay report that tells me that it is available. So if I click on the essay report, it actually brings up the Safe Assignment Report, where now, as the instructor, I don't just take the word for the fact that 10% or 50% of it's matching. I still go through and review the report. Now, since I've got Wimba minimized a little bit, so if you have a question, just hold down the talk button and yell out. So the report at the top basically gives me information on the paper, tells me the author, tells me the name of the document that was submitted, and gives me the paper or the entire document matching percent. I can print this out, or I can go down and start to review the report that's here. Suspected sources. This is saying that when it ran through Safe Assignment, these are the locations or the sources that it found that are suspect to being unoriginal. So on this one, I have one. It gives you the link, and highlight or hovering over the link, it highlights the actual, well, what is it suspect against? Okay, let me just kind of go through, I think where I left off, and that was, let me go back just one quick thing here. On this slide here, the issue that I covered here was if you have brought in safe assignments from another course or imported them from a previous semester, you want to synchronize the safe assignments so that those links are reconnected to the current course. To do that, you go to Course Tools, select Safe Assign, and then to the very right, you'll see the button for Synchronize this course. Clicking on that will reconnect those links to the current course that you're in. The next slide that came up was that of Direct Submit. Direct Submit is the option for you to upload papers directly without student involvement. In other words, you don't have to have an assignment, safe assignment project set up, but you can take the paper that's emailed to you or that you have, and you, as the instructor, can actually run it through Safe Assign. Well, why would you want to do that? Well, if you have those out of ordinary situations, for instance, a student who is submitting something to make up an incomplete, and they are not part of your current course, you can take that paper and you as the instructor can run it through Safe Assignment. Another way to use Direct Submit, if you have a project that students have submitted to you and you have this gut feel that maybe one of them is very, very suspect, you can, by going to direct submit, you can actually run that paper through to get a report to look at and see what the matching percent is. To do that, you would go to Course Tools, Safe Assign, and then select the Direct Submit tab on that page. Click Submit a Paper under the Private Direct Submit, and then you're going to be given two options. One, to submit as a draft, and then a report will be generated, but the paper won't be added to the database, and it won't be used to check other papers. And that might be if you just get a suspect paper, you might just want to do it, submit it as draft. You're still going to receive a report. The next one is skip plagiarism checking. It just adds the paper to the database without even checking it, and it just allows you to load that to the database for future comparison. Upload the file from your local source or local computer, and then submit it. It's going to be a little bit, but it will still check it and give you the green check icon so that you can review that report at some point after the report is complete. You can also copy the URL that's given to you when that report is generated, and you can even email that to the student. Now, if you wanted to review the report from the Grade Center, you open the Grade Center, you would click the chevron to the right of the grade, select View Grade Details, and remember that green exclamation point just indicates that the item does need to be graded. Select View User Activity. The window comes up for different options. Text just means that it displays the text of the student submission. File means that you can open or save the original file that was submitted. Matching gives you the percent of matching items found. The essay report column will open up once you click on it, the annotated essay report, the date it was submitted, and then the last option allows you to clear that student's attempt. So if you really go in, you look at it, and then the student comes to you in tears and says, I really didn't believe that I did that. Please, can I have another attempt? You can go into the Grade Center, clear the attempt from the Grade Center, and allow the student to resubmit. Then you're a really good guy or lady. Okay, you've looked at it, you looked at the report, you've analyzed that report, and now you're ready to assign a grade. Again, Grade Center, scroll to Modify Grade, type in the grade. Right underneath that gives you the option to provide feedback to the student if you would like. So from there, you can type in any comments that the students can view. And we're almost halfway home. Again, to actually clear a safe assignment attempt, you can clear it from the Grade Center, or you can do it from the Course Tools, select Safe Assign, and view under View All Submissions. Select the submission by placing a check mark to the left of the student ID, and then just selecting Clear Checked Attempt. Now, Blackboard's very much like Windows or Mac. There's more than one way to get something done. So you can either use the Grade Center or actually use the Safe Assignment under Course Tools. The report that's generated displays, again, the percent that matches other papers in the database and other papers in our institutional database and global database. The guidelines that Safe Assignment suggests is that anything that's matching a 15% or less typically does not indicate plagiarism. But understand that you as the instructor have got to analyze the matches between the student's paper and the sources, because you're the one that has that final decision. You're going to make that informed judgment whether plagiarism or unoriginal context and text is present or not. Again, this just kind of gives you a little recap of the Safe Assignment Report. Clicking the hyperlink near the top will open the original source location. Clicking the magnifying icon to the right of the highlighted source will just highlight the actual text within that document. Remember that the report will give you two percentage figures. The first is an overall percentage matching against the total paper, and then the second is a sentence matching percent that shows you the source comparison and the percent of similarity for that sentence and the direct comparison of both the uploaded paper and the internet source. Going through, identifying each of the links, making that judgment, and clicking or checking each box to exclude certain identified sources. Once you're all done, you can then reprocess the paper through the database again to get an updated percentage report. Well, finishing off safe assignments, let me leave you with some caveats. Safe assignments accept only the following file types: documents, rich text, PDF, HTML. Please understand that safe assignments do not accept JPEGs or PNGs or zip files. And if students try to submit papers that contain more than 2 megs or 20% of the submission contains graphics, the submission to safe assignment will fail, and the problem is that sometimes students don't know why. So just remember that, again, with caveats and safe assignments, it is something to help you to identify unoriginal text, not pictures or graphics, and it will not accept zip files. And have a great week, and see you next Wednesday.